cardmaking.com. Thank you very much for joining me today. Got a Christmas card for you. Using the Emboss Resist technique to get a full colour on your Whisper White cardstock to create a card that looks like this. I'm just going to be loading you up on my iPad so I can see all your comments. Say hello if you're there. Let me know what you've been doing this weekend. Hope you've all had a good weekend. And it's doing that thing on my iPad where it's got a little timer. Oh, it's on. That's good. Hello, everybody. Hope you're okay. So I'm using the Snowflake Wishes stamp set today to create the Emboss Resist card. So this is a plain piece of Whisper White cardstock that I have heat embossed with white embossing powder. And then I have built up all the colour on it to create this really funky, bright sort of effect. And I'm going to show you how simple it is to make that card. Hey, Karen, hope you're all right. Hi, Jeanette. Nice to see you. Hello, Sharon. You all having a good weekend? Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Hi, Audrey. Hope you're okay. Thank you very much. Right. So I have got some thin Whisper White cardstock. Hello, Donna. Hope you're all right. I've got no sweets on my desk. Myself and Donna are really naughty. We're the sweetie crew. But I'm trying to be really good. So I have no sweets for crafting. So I've got some thin Whisper White cardstock, which is the exact same size as my card base. So I've already got my card bases cut. They're a piece of A4 thick Whisper White, which I've cut in half and scored in half. And I've got my panel for the top. It is the exact same size. So it's 10.5 centimetres by 14.85 centimetres. And that way, it's not allowing any white to seep out of this card because I've just attached the panel onto that and there's no white seeping out. Okay, I've got my Snowflake Wishes. Now you can use any stamp set you like with this technique. Flowers would work lovely as well, and getting it sort of with really nice spring colours would work. But you want to have a stamp set that's full, you know, that you can get a good colour print on. Just an outline you might struggle with. Okay, so you want a stamp positioning tool. I'm using my lovely Stamparatus. Okay, I'm just going to move my card to the side so I've got enough room on my desk. Yeah, we are a bit naughty when we get together, Donna. So I've took out my stamp and I'm lining this up underneath my my lever for my Stamparatus so that it's nice and solid. And I've got a piece of the grid paper. So with the Stamparatus, you can get the Stamparatus grid paper, which I love. Very useful. Hiya, Janice. Hope you're all right. I'm going to put the magnets to the side because I'm not planning on really using the magnets today. Because I have stamped all over the card and I wanted to get that done in one go, it's a bit difficult to get the magnets in the right place. So let me show you what I'm going to do instead. So you need your base piece. Anyone joining? 10.5 centimetres by 4.85 centimetres. And I've got my Stampin' seal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a little bit, and this is a new reel, so I'm just going to get it into the sticky part. There we go. You want to pop a little bit on each corner. Not a lot, because you don't want this to stick massively. Okay, and then if you just use your finger, it will just take the initial tack off. So you want it to still be tacky, but you don't want it to be so it's going to adhere on the paper. So just get your fingerprints well over those. Okay, and then once you've done that, line it up on your grid paper and stick it down. So what I'm going to do with my pencil is I'm just going to point out where I've stuck it, purely because you might have noticed I have 2 other sheets here, so I'm just going to do some mass stamping while I'm at it. Hi Alison, hope you're all right. Hey Norma. Everyone's popping on today. So with this set, you've got some I'm just looking at my ring light. It lights up my table nicely, but I feel it's blinding you guys off here. So hopefully that's moved it a little bit. Fingers crossed. I'm waiting for my video to catch up so it shows me if it's moved it. Oh, it's moved it to the side. We'll ignore it. So I'm going to use every single one of the big snowflakes, but I'm not going to use these 2 here. These 2 have got little dots on, and I just felt it being consistent with the rest of the card. So all of the main snowflakes I'm using. Hiya Shirley, hope you're okay. So this is now well and truly stuck down on the grid paper, and I'm just going to maneuver all of my snowflakes so that I get a nice even spread on the card. I really liked how I got them all set up for this one. So I was really tempted to leave the Stamparatus as it was, but then I thought that's not going to make a good video because I won't be able to talk you through it. So just keep going, we're lining them all up. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm just going to mix that. I kind of want a bigger one down in this corner. I've got all the baby ones down there. Just keep playing until you're happy with the pattern you've got. I'm really not happy with the pattern I've got, so I'm going to keep playing. So fussy. There we go. Kind of happy with that, I think, maybe. Until I'm not happy with it, but at the moment I'm okay with it. Hiya, honeybee. Hope you're all right. So it is stuck down with the glue. You can use your magnet if you wanted to, if you find a gap. But if you don't find a gap, it's not going to be the end of the world. See, I found 2 little gaps, but you have got it stuck down with your seal anyway. Whenever I use my Stamparatus, I always use my bone folder just to go underneath and to hold the paper in the right place. So once you've actually pushed down to get your stamps, sometimes the photopolymer stamps stick to the paper. So if you just line that up, pull it down, it'll be fine. What I should have done before I put my magnets on, of course, was my embossing buddy. And you want to use that all over your Whisper White cardstock because the embossing powder is going to go over the whole lot. And I'm really not going to bother with my magnets. It is stuck to my paper. So I've got my white Stampin' Emboss powder and my Versamark. And I'm just going to ink them all up and stamp them down. Hi, Sophia. Oh, that's all right. I'm surprised you're home this early. I saw Sophia went shopping this morning and she put a picture up on Facebook of a queue around the corner. What is wrong with people? Have they not learnt from last time that there is enough supplies to go around? It's just... So I'm just looking under my light to see if my emboss if my Versamark got it all. If you're not sure, because it is hard to see Versamark on your paper, you can always go again and stamp it down again. So what did you get her for her birthday? Come on, spill. I think 2's enough. So I've got a piece of folded over scrap paper here that I'm going to use for my embossing. And I've also got my little pokey tool. So I'm just going to lift this up off the grid paper now. If you have stuck it too much, that's not a problem. You can always just trim the grid paper around the card. Trust me, from someone who's done it before. But really, if you stuck your fingers on enough, you should just be able to lift it off. But I pre-warn you're going to have fun now because it's going to tag to everything you use, just as a heads up. So I'm going to pop my Stamparatus to the side. Hi, Carol. Hope you're all right. Morning to you. Seems so weird. It's gone so dark outside here. Looks like it's going to tip it down. I'm not going sparingly with the embossing powder. I'm popping it all on. And then just going to pick my card up and drop it all down. Managed to miss a whole section in the middle there. How's that happen? I don't think the Versamark caught that section actually. But it doesn't matter because I've got a sentiment that I'm going to pop on the top of this. So I can just hide that. Not the end of the world. If you hadn't got a sentiment, you could very easily brush off all the embossing powder, put it back in the Stamparatus because we put a little line as to where it was, and re-ink it back up. But that sounds fiddly for me. Right. Anyone who's got me on full sound, just going to want to notch it down a little bit because I've got my heat tool on, or I will have. I use a spare Stamparatus plate, and I think because it's hard, it just helps keep the paper from warping as much as it normally does. It's probably in my own imagination, but I like to think that it does. So that's why I'm balancing it on here. So I'm just going to give it a second and blast it and get it all heat set. done. So I'm actually just going to pop that to the side to show you how easy it is to make a second. So now that I've done the one, I can again pop some seal on the back of my card. Not a lot, just a little bit in each corner. Oh, thanks, Shirley. Do you know, when I first started, I made a huge mistake, and I did a heat embossing and resist video. But at the time, I was still in my nervous about speaking on camera stage. So I was doing my time lapses. And for the first 3 minutes of the time lapse, you couldn't see what I was doing because I was just stamping in Versamark and heat embossing. And people were commenting saying, what are you doing? What stamp set you using? What's happening? Because obviously it just looks exactly the same as a piece of card. So yeah, that was probably a bit of a rookie error, really. So this is how simple it is now. Now I've got my stamps already where they should be, and I've got my arrow where it should be. I can just go straight ahead and stamp up the other 2 pieces of cardstock. It will take seconds. So once you've done the setup, I always think if it takes time to set it up but doesn't take time to do, you should do a couple while you're at it, because it just makes sense to me. So there's that one. Lift it off and put it on the side. And then I'm going to do my other one as well. I do like bulk crafting. Stamparatus makes it so easy, doesn't it? I had a craft fair the one year. Last minute craft fair, actually. One of my lovely friends, who I love, so I'm not going to say anything against it. She messaged me 2 nights before her daughter's craft fair and said, my daughter's got a craft fair at school. One of the stall holders dropped out. I've put your name forward. I hadn't got like anything made. So I got my mum on the guillotine, cutting all my card bases. I got my brother on the scoring tool, doing all the card scoring. And I was there with a Stamparatus. And the next day I turned up with probably about 50 cards that looked like one and 50 cards that looked like another. Talk about variety. But managed it. Okay. So now I've done those, I'm going to pop those on the side and get those heat set as well. So I've got my 3 cards to go from. And then I'll have a go at doing this card in 3 different colours, I reckon. I mean, you don't have to do them all in the same day. You could leave these on, just wipe them over with a chamois and come back to it tomorrow if you're doing masses. So. I tell you what is worrying me though, I can't remember if I used my embossing buddy. This is a problem when I chat and craft. I've got a bad memory at the best of times. So who's crafting along? I know that Janice and Karen are. If you are crafting along, or you're crafting at a later date and you're making this card, there is an album over on Slim and Stylish's Crafty Hangout that Karen's kindly set up for me today. So please do. Do you know what? It's the exact same stamp that I've missed. I must just not push in the middle because it worked on this one. It's that one. So it worked okay on this one. So must be doing something wrong. But yeah, so head over to Facebook, Slim and Stylish's Crafty Hangout. And I post about the lives that I'm doing in there. And then there's little albums with pictures in and links in for the other lives. And if you do create them, please pop across and pop your pictures in, because I love seeing what other people have made. Oh, what are you crafting, Honeybee? Honeybee's crafting something different, so I'm interested. Guess what, everybody? Same snowflake. You could scream, couldn't you? Oh, wow. I'm not going to get worried about it. Once again, it's over where I can put a sentiment. When I'm embossing, I always like, by the way, to keep a paintbrush or something close. And then if you miss the pot, or if you get the embossing powder where it shouldn't do, you can use it as like a little desktop sweep. Because I'm always messy. There we go. Right. I'm going back heat bossing again, so watch your volume control. Right, there we go. 3. 1, 2, 3. And I've got a piece of scrap copy paper here because you know what I'm like with messes on my desk. So I'm going to start out first. I'm going to use this one that I first did because it's a little bit cooler than the others. And I'm going to use to start off with the same inks that I did for this card. So that was Night and Navy. And I've got the Dauber for it. Pretty Peacock. And there's a Dauber. Oh, no. There's a Dauber for that one. And then Bermuda Bay. So you can use any inks for this, whichever ones you want. Obviously, it'll be different depending on what you're doing. You're not going to want to have blue, sort of snowy coloured flowers, but up to you. You just kind of want them that are very similar so they can blend in together. One really dark and one quite light. My Bermuda Bay is obviously my lighter one. And you want to start off with the dark, but you're going to keep going backwards and forwards to top up the colour. And the dark, you want to start in the middle of your snowflakes or in the middle of your pattern. So, for instance, there's the middle of my one. And as I'm starting to sponge, you can see where the snowflake is. So you want to be dark in the middle and lighter towards the edges. And you just want to do each snowflake. Dark in the middle and light towards the edges. And at this stage, it doesn't matter if this looks messy, because you're just going to keep building the colour up and keep coming back. Just so long as it is really dark in the centre. And also, when the ink goes onto the white embossing powder, it will smudge and move because the embossing powder is shiny. So you just need to keep working it in there, and then you'll just get a faint hint of it. There's a snowflake. It's quite hard when I'm filming. I have like lights coming from every angle, so I'm a bit stuck as to where I put my embossing powder, but I will find it. Getting darker in the middle. And you see, there's the one that I said messed up a little bit. It's just, I told you, this stickiness. It won't stick, it's just tacky. But yeah, that's the one there that I said I'd messed up. I'm just going to go over that one a little bit. Make sure I've covered the snowflake. Okay, leave the lid off and leave your door because you're going to come back to Night and Navy. Let's move on to Pretty Peacock. And with this one, you also want to hit the snowflake, but you want it to come out of the snowflake as well. So you're just building on the colour, but you're also going around the outside so you can get different shades and blending in together. Okay, so my circles are going bigger. They're kind of coming out. If I do it like that, that corner is tackier than all the others. So you can see exactly how much further I'm going. Just keep building the colour up. Snowflakes will look like they're changing colour. That's fine, because the colour we're going to finish it with is Night and Navy, so they'll get that Night and Navy look back. It's just trying to build up all the different colours. Okay. And then once you finish that, you're going with a lighter colour And I'm just going to do that where all of the white spaces are. I'm not going over the rest of the snowflake. I'm just colouring in the white spaces. Night and Navy Shirley, Pretty Peacock and Bermuda Bay. And like I said, it's going to look messy to start off with because the colours aren't blended in. So it'll look a bit mottled and patchy, but that's fine. And you want to build the Bermuda Bay up so it's nice and bright. Making sure there's no white on the card. And then you want to take it all the way around the edge as well. And I find the best thing with the finger daubers, it's up to you, but I find the best thing is to go around in circles. Okay. So that's the end of the Bermuda Bay. It shines through then when we blend through with the Pretty Peacock. So with the Pretty Peacock now, I'm coming in from the edges and I'm just going lightly over the entire card. Really blending. So hopefully you can see this bit here. It all kind of looks like one colour now, just with some shades through, as opposed to this end. Try and show you on screen. Hopefully you can see that that's a lot more blended than this down here, but you've still got those shades in there. Just keep going until you're happy with the colour. And then when you're happy with your colour, Night and Navy, and you want to go over the flowers, snowflakes, just in the centre out. Hopefully you can see that the colour then spreads out. And for this, I'm actually daubing the dauber, so I'm getting as much colour from the dauber as I can. Also, because these are water-based inks, for a while the ink will keep transferring off the snowflakes. So if you daub down as opposed to rubbing, you're going to get a slightly better effect on the snowflake than rubbing it on and then rubbing it back off again. Okay. Just make sure it looks consistent. And if you're not happy, as I said, they're water-based colours, so just go over them again. You could put more Pretty Peacock on the edges. You could put some Bermuda Bay on the edges to brighten them up. It's really up to you, but I'm quite happy with that. I think it looks pretty much the same. And then I'm going to wait for a few seconds for that to dry. As I said, it's water-based ink, so what I'm going to do is put it on the side. Once it's dried off a bit, I'm going to use tissue paper just to blot out the colour, and make sure that when you post it, for instance, it's not going to go all over the hands of the person who receives it. So I'm just going to pop that on the side. And what colour should we go with next? Oh, I thought I got glue on my gel nail, so I've just wiped it and look, the whole nail has come off. That happened in a video the other day. Oh, now I look all odd. Right, I've got 2 more sheets. So, anyone got thoughts on colours? Could potentially go purples, rich raspberry, Highland heather, and gorgeous grape maybe. We could try those ones out while that one's drying. Karen, yes. Karen's a purple girl. She likes her purples. I think I'm going to have to use a new dauber for the Highland heather. Exciting. The daubers aren't that expensive. They come in a pack of 5, but they seem to last for quite some time until you need new ones. So I always get excited when I start a new one. Right. Rich raspberry. Back to trying to find the middle of my my snowflakes now. Not sure about this one. Oh no, I like it now I've gone darker. Yeah, if you're doing rich raspberry, go over it a few times. Tell you what, I think it looks quite nice. It's just little circles. So I'm going to do this one as well while they're both next to each other. Otherwise you'll have to sit there while I try and decide on colours again. But I mean, if you'd done quite a few of these, you could have them all in a row and go backwards and forwards. Extend that one. Right. Highland heather. No, not Highland heather. Gorgeous grape. I know what I'm doing. Oh, I quite like it now. It's got the gorgeous grape on. Donna's just made a really good suggestion, actually. She was saying that Blackberry Bliss might have been a little bit better than Rich Raspberry. Kind of thinking it could have been. A bit more purple than a bit more pink, yeah. It's up to you. I mean, you could always, like I said, water-based colours, you could always go over the top with a different colour. But you do want 3 colours that are going to blend really, really nice together. Oh, that's good. Janice is using Blackberry Bliss, so she can put a picture up and we can see what the 2 differences are. Ah, good thinking. Looks really messy partway through, doesn't it? But I promise you, the end result looks really nice. Can you imagine anyone coming onto a time lapse where you're not telling them, oh no, I've gone back into, I was talking, move that away. I thought it was looking pretty samey. Yeah, can you imagine anyone on a time lapse when you're not telling them what you're doing and you just put the music on for this one? I think that looks a mess. I'm not staying for that. Yeah, Shirley, that would work. That would look nice with the greens. You know, if you had a leaf stamp set, that would look really nice. You know, like Gorgeous Poses has got that really fat leaf on. That would look nice with the greens, I feel. Right. Just do a couple more of this and then go over with the Highland Heather. You're going to have to dunk really well now because it hasn't got any previous colour on. So just build the colour up and then off we go. I find daubers are better once I get excited about blank ones because you get to mess them up. But I find they are better when you've got colour on from previous goes because they last a little bit longer on the card. I think they fly a bit smoother too. So while I'm doing this, because as soon as I finished with the Highland Heather, I'm just going to go back over again with the Gorgeous Scrape and then the Rich Razzleberry. I've got Blackberry Bliss. Do you ever have that where you have the word stuck in your mouth and you know it's the wrong word, but then your mind goes completely blank with what the right thing should be? I do that all the time. I sometimes think my mind and my mouth are connected. So now all the colours on, just blend them all together with the Gorgeous Scrape. So while I'm doing that, I want to say a big thank you to everybody. The last few months I've been working towards becoming Silver Elite for Stampin' Up. You might have seen on my Facebook yesterday, I was all on the targety thing and I hit it last night. So I was really made up, but I want to thank everybody because so many people were dropping me like little support things and everyone was saying lovely things that really just spurred me on yesterday because I didn't think I'd actually make it and then I did. So thank you to everybody for your support with that. I haven't researched where I can go in Vegas yet. I hope the coronavirus disappears so I can go. But there we go. Oh, Donna says that happens to her all the time, especially on a Facebook Live. Yeah, you can think of the word you want to say and then it's just not there. I had it the other day. Actually, I think it was Shirley that picked it up. I was using the sheep stamp set from the Christmas catalogue, and I said that I thought that, I can't remember how I worded it, but basically, I thought his curls were cute, but I said that I thought the waves were cute. Try not to listen back to any of my pre-recorded Facebooks, otherwise I think I'd just be like, cringe. Let's just keep blending it in. There we go. You can see the difference because it starts to look like it looks really messy and then all of a sudden starts to pick back up. So and then once you're happy with where you've got with it, just darken up. I can bring this back now. Just darken up the snowflakes. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to put this one to the side to dry and I'll finish off the blue one. And what I'll do is once this one's finished, I'll pop a picture over on Slim and Stylish's Crafty Hangout so you can see which one you prefer the most. So I'm just going to leave that to dry. And bring in the blue one. Pop all my inks away. So what I've got for this one, or what I did have for this one, was some Night and Navy cardstock, which was already cut. So that's going to be around somewhere, I feel. I'll find it after I've finished filming. There we go. And I've got my guillotine so I can recut it because I have no idea where that's gone. And I'm going to heat emboss the sentiment, may your season sparkle. Thanks, everybody. So, ooh. Bossing Buddy. It's exactly the same as what we did with the snowflakes. So I'm just going to stamp that on there. No, I have no idea where that Night and Navy's gone. I'm still looking around for it. Could be somewhere really obvious, you know. May your season sparkle. This is what I love about embossing. You can't see it on the white, but when you do it on normal colour and you use the white, that looks really dull and boring. And then as soon as you put the heat to it, it's just magical. It goes so much fun. Oh, look, look. Mine out a navy bit. I left it on top of the Stamparatus. Oh dear, I'm going to use my heating gun again just to pre-warn you with the heat. Sorry, with the noise. May your season sparkle. So I'm just going to chop it down. I did it so it was 5 centimetres. I remember that. I'm going to do it just over 5 centimetres and then take the rest of it from... Oh no, carry on taking the rest of it from the top. Oh, I like to get my sentiment like dead in the middle, so I fiddle around a bit sometimes. And then I did it by 8 centimetres, so I'm going to cut that down at just over 8.5. Flip it round and cut it to 8 centimetres. There we go. Love the font on this stamp set. It's beautiful. And then I've got this punch here, which I know the name of, but I can't think of the name. Is it Everyday? No. I don't know. But it does have the ribbon hole and the ribbon slat in them. So I'm just going to use that. The way I try to make sure it's straight is popping it in, feeding it through so I can see that it's the same length each way, and then feeding it back and trying not to shake my hands, which is hard because I shake my hands at the best of times. I'm not very hand steady. Feed the ribbon through. And you'll be shocked to find out that this is another video where my ribbon's running out on. I think I do it on my lives on purpose. I pick up ribbons that are running out. So work out where you want it. And you only really want the ribbon to go sort of 1 centimetre past the edges of the cardstock. You're just going to turn it around and stick it on the other side. So a whole load of dimensionals on the back here. And the best way I've found is to line it up so it's straight, the ribbon, and then put the dimensionals half on the paper and half on the ribbon so it stays in the right place. Karen has used loads of different colour combinations and she's got a really pretty grid paper going on. What colour combinations have you used? I'm dead interested now. Karen makes me laugh. Right, so there's my messy one. So I'm going to flip it upside down and pop that over the top of my messy one to hide it. And no one will ever know. Oh, I know what I forgot. It doesn't matter. We can sort it. But I have forgotten something. So I'm just going to stick that down. I forgot my little embellishment. So on my card, I had put a little circle. These are lovely. They're a little ornament that are called glitter star ornaments. and they're like what would go on the tree, so they do actually have a loop. So I actually fed that around the ribbon before I put it back in. But we have glue dots for a reason, you know, when I forget what I'm doing. So I'm just going to get a pokey tool. Pop a glue dot just up under there. No one will ever know. And then poke through the ornament. And poke it to stick it onto the glue dot. And then no one knows that it wasn't there all the time like it should have been. Honestly. What am I like? Let's just try and feed that through. Right. Yeah, I'm just going to snip that off. There's no reason. I've actually stuck it with the glue dot, so I don't need the loop. There we go. There's my little charm. Card base. And you are best to use your multi-purpose liquid glue, because as I said at the start, this is a perfect fit for the card base. So you're going to want to move it around to make sure it goes in the right place. And then to finish it up, I have got some dazzling shimmery crystal effects. That's what I meant. And I've also got my elegant faceted gems. So I used 3 of the elegant faceted gems, the white ones, so that they just stood out like snow. And Karen says that she used Bermuda. I'm going to guess Bermuda Bay Pool Party and Coastal Cabana, and then Blackberry Bliss, Rich Raspberry, and Flirty Flamingo. Oh, that would be nice and bright. Okay. So if you want to see those, Slim and Stylish's Crafty Hangout, and then Karen normally adds her makes to the albums, so we can pop in and see what all the different colour combinations look like. That's 3 of those. And then, oh, she's done another one, Shaded Spruce, Just Jade and Mint. Oh, Mint Macaron. Oh, lovely. And then I'm just popping a few dots of the crystal effects on here. And I'm going to show it you when it's wet and then show it you when it's dry, because I love crystal effects. I think it's amazing. Okay. So when it's wet, they just look like big sort of cloudy blobs, I think. And when they're dry, they actually fall exactly sort of like a little rhinestone would to the exact colour underneath it. So I think it's really clever and I love those. And those are the cards. So anything I've used today is available on my website, www.slimandstylish.stampinup.net. And please come and join me over on my Facebook group, Slim and Stylish's Crafty Hangout. Janice has done Magenta Madness to her purple one. Oh, that's going to be really bright. Oh, I'm so excited about seeing these. We'll have to pop over to the Facebook group and see them all in the albums. Thanks, Shirley. Glad you liked it. Oh, thanks, Donna. You'll have to show us what you're sewing as well. I'm not very good at sewing. More fingers and thumbs. So thank you for joining me. I will see you next Sunday, 4 o'clock. I'll have a think about what else we're going to do. And I will also pop in the purple ones into the group as well, so you can see what they finished like. All right, have a lovely week. Don't forget, if you want any supplies, slimandstylish.stampinup.net, and see you all soon. Thanks, everybody. Oh, Donna's been doing her son's work trousers. That's not as fun as I thought it was going to be. Oh yeah, if you did like the video, please do give me a thumbs up. I forgot that, Karen. Thank you. I'll speak to you all soon. Bye, everyone.